Hola, cage fighting connoisseurs. This is KidNativeBloodyElbow.com, joined once again by the inevitable, the ineluctable. Where the hell's Eugene? What? Somebody got John Nash and my Eugene S. Robinson, so thanks for filling in, John.
Sure. What else am I going to do on a whatever day in the morning it is?
That's right. Just another, you'd just be in line at the liquor store anyway, so... but we're here for the UFC 227 Care Don't Care preview. John, can you give us a disclaimer, or do I have to do it myself?
Oh, well, I'm not allowed to do the Eugene disclaimer. I don't have my own, but I'll just say, listen, you. I can come up with synonyms for all this stuff. Listen, you sissy Marys, and you.
So you got to get homophobic. That's
I'm trying to channel Eugene, and doesn't Eugene always go right in that direction?
You're giving me a Me Too moment right here with all the homophobia. Come on.
Sorry, I shouldn't. I shouldn't. Whatever. Okay, listen, all you people. Just don't whine to us. We really have better things to do with our day than care about your caring about this show. This is a favor from us to you. The loser out here has nothing better to do than to watch a show about two guys meandering through a fight card that no one but only a handful of losers in the world care about. How's that?
A handful. I love it. That's a new coinage. New coinage.
Right. Just call me Mr. Mallenprop.
If only William Sapphire were alive today to see this.
This is top-notch entertainment. I tell you what I am. I know that any minute today I'm going to get my email giving me my press credentials for this Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
That I asked for several times a couple of weeks ago.
I'm sure Danielle White will be hand-delivering that to your door.
Yeah, so I just got a sense. My guess is I'm not getting those press credentials. That's my guess.
Maybe so. Maybe those guys that pushed Ariel Helwani in the hallway will be free to come by and discuss it with you.
Yeah, Rocco and whatever. Who's the two guys? Rocco. I can't remember.
Remember how Ken Shamrock used to have that bodybuilder that always went around with him, his strength and conditioning coach?
It kind of ruined the whole "The World's Most Dangerous Man" thing, didn't it?
That he had like a guy that looked like his bodyguard.
Yeah. That you're the world's most dangerous, and then you have this guy here that handles the problem. Ken.
Yeah. I mean, I think he was his pharmacist, sort of.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he had a real legitimate reason for being there.
Yes. So. It was very beefy. All right, so this UFC 227 card. Oh boy, it's got 4 fights on Fight Pass, 3 fights on FX.
Wait, there's 4 on Fight Pass.
4 on Fight Pass, 3 on FX, and then 5 cards on the pay-per-view main card. So let's get right to it. The bantamweight opener, Marion Vera versus Wooji Burin. Wooji?
Yeah, I don't. I think this undercard prelim whatever must be being broadcast in China because half the fighters on the prelims are from China.
Yeah.
But I don't really. Yeah, that's not a top notch. This fight has no relevancy to the division.
All right, so we don't care because we're too cool.
We're too cool for school.
Women's strawweight, Danielle Taylor versus Zhang Weili.
I don't.
Zhang Weili.
She might be good actually, but
I'm curious. I'm Chinese fighter curious.
I'm curious, but I'm not that. I'm not going to tune into if you're on the prelims, you better be a top-notch fight. If I'm going to just go out of my way to watch you, surrounded by nothing else.
Since I can DVR the FX card, but I'll probably watch the Fight Pass fights while the FX fights are happening. I found that to be a very time-efficient way to do it. All right, featherweight. Oh wait.
No, you're skipping ahead.
Bantamweight, Ricardo Ramos versus Kyung Kang, who's Korean, not Chinese, by the way.
Yeah, that's a Korean name. But is he South or North Korean? That's the question.
I think he's South Korean. I'm
pretty sure he's South, yes. I mean, he's I don't really care. Do you? I mean, he's actually I know that
he's reeled off like 3 straight wins with 2 arm triangle chokes.
He's been good in the UFC. I know he's strung up some wins, fight of the night. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not looking at his record, but it's a fight that they're just too far down. I haven't heard.
Are you saying I'm looking at his record? Because I've got this memorized.
Steel trap,
baby.
That's impressive. My point is, before I was rudely interrupted by someone else, the only other person here, I forgot where the fucking point. Oh no, here's my point. My
How
point
dare
is
he interrupt you?
You again interrupted me again. Someone over there is interrupting me. Listen, leave me alone. I need clarity here. I need time to think to get this genius out.
Were you up all night smashing the Trump star on Hollywood Boulevard?
No, I was out there polishing it, putting it back in. I was
all right. How heroic, MAGA baby.
But the fight is not relevant enough to make me care, and neither of these fighters are. I haven't heard Connor Rubish or anybody going nuts for him, so there's not like a lot of hype for him. So why am I going to go out of my way for him yet?
All right. Yeah, I mean this one is very much on the edge of a care because both guys are riding three fight win streaks, but yeah, two of those wins come over a guy named Takada or something. Yeah, same guy. They both beat the same guy in there. All right,
so how impressive is that guy though? That's the question.
It's not. It's
not like they beat Frankie Edgar, both of them, or something.
No, it's not like they beat Frankie Edgar. No, Michinori Tanaka is not terrible, but he's riding a 2-fight losing streak and 1-3 in his last 4 UFC fights. And like I said, I've got this memorized. I'm not looking at Wikipedia or nothing. All right, flyweight, Jose Torres versus Alex Perez.
Okay, now we're getting aren't those guys, both these guys from Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series? They
might be. They might well be.
That's where I think it's interesting because people are getting hyped from that show, but I mean, if you're really a super talented fighter, do you have to go on a show where you win to win a contract instead of the UFC going another way to give you a contract? What's that say about you?
I don't know. It might say that they're allocating their marketing dollars better.
Maybe, unless they're telling guys that they want them on the show first to introduce them to the UFC fans. But
I think that's the idea, which is what they should have been doing with Tough the whole time instead of going with the cheapest guys we can get, who make the best reality TV, which was just but I don't care.
I just don't care. Yeah, I don't know them enough to care.
These guys got to beat somebody who's not.
I haven't been watching Tuesday Night. That really defeats the purpose of Tuesday Night Contenders. That I have not been watching Tuesday Night Contenders, even though everybody goes nuts for it. But I haven't been watching.
People do seem to be enjoying it. So, what can you say? All right, now we come to the FX prelim card. First up, featherweight Matt Sayles versus Sheymon Moraes.
I kind of care. I mean, I've heard, but I don't care.
I don't either. No, nary a Wikipedia entry.
You have Wikipedia up. That's how I knew. I knew it. Cheater.
I'm looking at the Sherdog database. Okay.
That's the only way.
All right, bantamweight Ricky Simon versus Montel Jackson.
Oh, Montel is definitely a Tuesday night contender. I remember that. But they're actually, and Ricky Simon's been pretty good in the UFC, but no, they're not relevant enough for me to go. I got stuff to do, honestly.
This card is stacked with bantamweights, though.
Yeah.
Bantamweight Pedro Munhoz versus Brett Johns.
Okay, that's not a bad fight, actually. That's close to relevancy.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly on the same card as the title fight for a reason. Like,
I mean, if this was one of your favorite punk bands, this would be like, this is not the top level, but this is like the Minutemen taking on the Suburbs.
No, this is more like Lords of the New Church.
Okay, see, that's my punk knowledge is not as deep as yours.
See, that's Lords of the New Church is an abortive supergroup with Stiv Bators of the Dead Boys on vocals and Brian James, original guitarist for the Damned.
I should have known that because the Dead Boys. How do I not know that? I've never heard of these guys.
Yeah, they had some push behind them. They were on IRS in the '80s, but they actually weren't really very good. So,
So I got to go with. I get to go first, right? So I'm going to go with Pedro.
You're going to go with Munhoz?
Yep.
Well, I'll go with Brett Johns to make it interesting.
Make it very interesting.
Yeah, although these guys really aren't in title contention, so.
No.
They're both coming off a loss.
You changed rooms. I'm a little freaked out by this. I'm looking in the background.
Yeah, my wife kicked me out of my daughter's room, so the office in the living room.
Yes, yeah. You better be careful with comments like that. All the pedo guys that on the right, they're going after people.
They're busy on 4chan. They're busy.
The QAnon or whatever guys.
I haven't dived into what that conspiracy is about. I've only heard that it's.
You don't want to dive in. It's just frustrating and pathetic.
I see. Just get your
which
hopes
means
up.
I dived into it, which I shouldn't have done. But the whole thing is just beyond frustrating to me.
Well, here's the thing, John. I can't handle the truth. So I learned that about myself a while back. I think around Pizzagate. I was like, whoa, this is too much for me. I can't handle this.
Yeah, I can't get
back under the covers.
I can't understand the people that really believe this stuff, that that celebrities, by doing jokes about pedophilia of any sort of comment, means that they're pedophiles, and the guys that are cynically using it just because they want to go after people. And both are so disgusting. It's like, I have,
Which camp do you think Ted Cruz falls into? Like, he was calling for James Gunn to be prosecuted for his jokes. Which
one?
Ted Cruz. James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy. He had all the Twitter jokes, which were remarkably tasteless and ill-advised. But honestly, when we were kids, you could buy a book called Truly Tasteless Jokes at every bookstore that apparently by Ted Cruz's standards would put you in prison for life. So
Ted Cruz is the Zodiac Killer. So that's
I don't think he's capable of that kind of organized behavior.
Yeah, and I don't buy him being the Zodiac Killer at all.
He's not old enough.
That's a young, Rand Paul. That's back in the day. You need a guy like Rand Paul's obsessiveness.
Nah, Rand Paul's no. No.
You don't think a Rand Paul type would be the
his
Zodiac
old
Killer?
man?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
Ron Paul, maybe. I don't think Rand has he's not a self-starter like the Zodiac Killer. That's
he's the New York Zodiac Killer that was inspired by the San Fran Zodiac Killer. He can't even do it on his own. He has to imitate someone else.
And took up all the wrong positions, allied with Mitch McConnell, and just went nowhere in the presidential race. I remember the New York Zodiac Killer.
We'll see. This is not wasted material on you.
No, not at all. All right. Wow. We have raced through the preliminary card, and now we are to the main card, and we're going to have to do a how much would you pay for each of these things, whether we care for them or not.
Oh, God. We're saving a lot of money.
Yes,
Remember, wasn't this card supposed to have, weren't they saying it was going to have GSP versus Nate Diaz and something else?
Yeah. They talked a lot
it was going to be Dillashaw versus Demetrious Johnson and Nate Diaz versus GSP.
Now, if they'd gotten Nate versus GSP, that would have been something. But there is no super fight that involves Demetrious Johnson. I mean, there's just not.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
unless they had him against Brock Lesnar, that I would tune in for. I would be like, that is a fucking super fight.
I don't know. As a hardcore fan, I mean, it's not a big pay-per-view casual fan thing, but I think amongst hardcore, at least guys that are into MMA, TJ versus DJ, especially for me at flyweight, because to me, everybody's like, oh no, DJ's got to go up. No, if TJ goes down, that's super impressive. I mean, that's one of the most impressive things you can do is go down in weight and win.
But the hubris of that alone, tells you he's not going to win. I mean,
But I think it puts more drama in it, because if TJ wins, that means they're probably going to end the flyweight division. That's my thinking. So you're like, there's so much more. There's so much more to this fight.
That doesn't their volume strategy. They can't end any divisions. They're just going to add more. Men's strawweight is coming up. They're talking to me about coming out of retirement for that one.
I would.
I'm gonna have to lose 75 pounds.
That's a $70 fight right there.
Yeah. I mean, if you thought CM Punk couldn't fight, yeah. All right.
If they need CM Punk to get a win, I'm your man. Give me a call.
For the right amount of money, I think CM Punk could have a very convincing victory. I mean, I'll crawl around the ring with a blood mask like Fred Eddish if that's what they want, but nobody's calling. All right, featherweight. This is our opener.
Oh crap. Okay.
Featherweight. Cub Swanson versus Renato Moicano.
I care. I like Cub Swanson a lot, and unfortunately, I'm not going to pick Cub Swanson. So damn it, it's sad. I hate seeing the guys I like going down the drain. Yeah. Getting old.
And Moicano is good. His only loss is to Brian Ortega in a fight of the night.
He's good.
Cubs.
And if you only lose to Brian Ortega, I think that says something right at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why they're given? I mean, Cub has had back-to-back losses to Ortega and Frankie Edgar. This is like no love booking for Cub.
Well, he got that new contract, and so he's probably like, hey, we're going to pay you a lot more. We're going to give you the tougher fights, which, I mean, that's also, I'm sure his big new contract's kind of crap compared to what a HBO boxer makes, but still.
Yeah. So We both care. We're both picking Moicano. How much do you pay for this fight?
This is a $3 fight.
This is a $5 fight.
$5. Well,
I'm rolling in money, G.
You're rolling it. $3. No, okay, fine. You get 5. I'll do 3.
I got a $2 bill. I'll take it out of my kid's piggy bank. And
so I'm gonna dig around. I might have some money sitting around on the chairs here somewhere. I think my client maybe spilled some back in the ADR booth.
I was giving my kid the same $2 bill every time he lost a tooth for the longest time, and then he got wise.
Oh, he just thought you were magically producing. He thought you were MMT, the monetary, monetary. Oh my God, my dad can generate money. Look at that.
He's already on the universal basic income, so
geez. Yeah. Did you see that one story about that girl in New York? They did a profile of how she's living in New York and only $25 an hour, and she's 21 years old.
No, is she rich? Daddy rich?
Yeah, it's like she's trying to live like she can live in New York, and this is how you do it. And then they write, her parents are paying her rent and giving her $1,100 a month, and she's
making it on her own, man, the hard way. It's like that article about one of the Kardashians being a self-made millionaire.
Oh yeah.
That was very inspiring, man. That really got me going in the morning.
I'm like, man, if she can do it, and all she has going for her is a super wealthy family, why can't I make it?
Exactly. I was like, pull up your yoga pants, fat boy. Let's do this. So, I was calling Ray J and everything, trying to book a shoot, but nothing came together. All right. Now we've got.
I would not pay for that shoot. I got to that pay-per-view. I'm not paying for. I'm sorry. I'm not interested in that. Well, maybe. Let me think about that. Now it's in my head.
Yeah, that's really.
Let's not.
Terrible. Yeah, women's strawweight, Polyana Viana versus JJ Aldrich.
They're both, if I remember right, doing pretty good in the division, but they're way down still in the division. Not relevant enough for me to really go out of my way and care.
Yeah, this is a pretty blatant pay-per-view patter. I'd say I don't care, and it's worth $0 to me.
Look at that. Oh, I'm not going to show up, but source texted me, so that might be good news for you.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Don't show that on camera.
Actually, can we do, and some of these fights, can we do negative?
They owe me money?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Maybe not this card, but other cards, it's like, holy crap, you put that on there, you should pay me $5.
That fucking card that was in the middle of the day on Saturday 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was unbearably tedious. Fast forwarding through it,
and I didn't watch. Did I watch that card?
If you did, it was not.
The truth. I've come down to the point where I think I treat MMA now like a boxing. Like you turn on HBO Boxing or Showtime or anything, it's like the three fights at the top. You're gonna watch the last. Yeah, that's it. And you're like, wow, good fights. If you do that at the UFC, generally you're like, wow, this was a great card. Especially that. And then
that whole 7 hours of nothing.
Saturdays was
earlier.
Awesome.
You just pretended it was, and nobody watched it. That was so disheartening.
Well, I think that shows you that the benefit of maybe going to streaming services or subscription, because MMA, as much as a lot of fans like, oh, it's going to be bigger than soccer and all this bullshit. MMA is a niche sport, but a lot of guys, I think hardcore fans would go nuts for Eddie Alvarez versus Poirier, and it would have been if they had signed an HBO deal years ago, this was the type of fight that people would be subscribing to HBO for.
Yep, that's
so it has immense value on that platform, but not on network TV.
No, it's not a network TV fight. All right. So now middleweight, Thiago Santos versus Kevin Holland. Is Thiago Santos not boring anymore? Did he have a turnaround?
No. Well, he David Branch he knocked out last time, didn't he?
He got knocked out.
He got knocked out. You're right.
He's shit. He's running on a 4-fight TKO streak before that.
Yeah, I remember.
Wow, dude hasn't had a decision since 2015. So yeah, he is entertaining, and 2 fights of the night in there. So
ever since I believe ever since Musasi kicked the crap out of him, he turned it around.
Yep, he learned that you can't just hold people down at the highest levels. So that's kind of exciting. But Kevin Holland isn't exactly an exciting opponent. I do care, and I'm picking Santos, but I don't feel like this is a pay-per-view fight. Is this worth any money to you?
It's not. I wouldn't give it any. I mean, it's not a fight. It's only a fight I'd watch because it's on TV between other fights I'm watching.
Yeah,
so I care. I'll watch it. I won't walk away or anything. but I'm not paying for that fight. And I'm picking Santos too because there's no way I'm going to trust Holland.
Yeah. Holland's a contender survivor as well, and Bellator veteran. Got a 4-fight win streak going. 25, Fort Worth, Texas.
Wow,
Fort Worth is lovely this time of year, by the way. It's too hot this time of year, but it's a lovely town.
My God, the temperature out here has just been insane the last couple. Today, but we had the hottest month in human history in Death Valley, I guess. Not recorded history.
The moral of the Evan Tanner story is don't go to Death Valley, John.
Yeah.
I don't care how much Google research you've done. Don't go to Death Valley.
You don't even have to go to Death Valley. I went to Palm Springs with a friend. It's 121 degrees some days.
Ooh, why would you go there? Just worshiping Bob Hope's desiccated corpse? Was that?
Well, I think there was someone was setting up a new cult out there, and we were trying to
worshiping Bob Hope's desiccated corpse. It's like Lenin's tomb, right? But it's no embalming. It's just pure natural desert air.
I guess probably. I haven't seen his. I haven't been to the Bob Hope. I've been to Bob Hope's house down the street from here, but not.
See, once they drained the ichor out of his body, it preserved itself. It was the most amazing.
My favorite things is his Democrat Republican jokes from the 40s because they still work today because they really don't mean anything, but still.
Yeah, it's
timeless comedy.
Timeless comedy. I do love Bob Hope, but what you gonna do? All right, now we are at the co-main event. Flyweight title fight, Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson in a rematch with Henry Cejudo, a guy I recall him not having a great deal of trouble with the first time around.
It was a couple years ago, and Cejudo's a young fighter, but I hate this fight because I hate to go to boxing and compare it, but if a boxing manager would be keeping Cejudo away from Demetrious Johnson for another year at least, because he's been getting a lot better every time he fights.
Yeah,
I'm still afraid it's way too early. Now he's going to have 2 losses in a row against Johnson, and that's just going to kill no one's going to want to see a third fight. It's just killed his career.
The problem is they've got nobody else. The coverage are bare.
Yeah, well, that's whoever shows up, you get thrown into the fight. That's the way it goes.
Yeah,
but that's why they should have made the TJ DJ fight, but they didn't want to give the $1 million to each. That's it. You guys are making,
Whoa, it's set a precedent. If they stop. The way Dana White likes, he throws some change on the floor, and then the whole flyweight division scravels for it. And so far,
the Joker, he breaks the pool stick, throws it out, and says, "One of you guys make it." That was the Joe Silva technique in Lorenzo. They were a little better at it.
They were a little more sagely. So we care about the fight.
Yeah, I definitely care. I just don't like it.
I'm picking. I don't think Cejudo's improved enough.
There's no way I'm picking Cejudo. He might win. Maybe Cejudo's got a lot better.
Gifted athlete, and he's improved greatly. But the thing about DJ is he's also improving. I mean, every time we've seen him, it's a better version. As much as I give the guy shit for not being a fan favorite and everything, dude is good. I mean,
yeah, he's
really good.
Incredible. What really hurt DJ in a weird way is when Uncle Creepy. That fight that ended in in the draw, the scorecard, and they never could put together the rematch. But that would have set up at least a rival for one.
He did fight Uncle Creepy right after that.
He fought again and then won the title, but they never were able to set up like the
a rubber match.
But it was ruined because they set up the rematch right away, and it was more definitive. Where if the first fight was down to OT, extra minutes or whatever the hell they called it, it'd be so close. You'd have this argument that Uncle Creepy was the real winner if DJ won, and then you could have set up that he had a rival, in other words, for at least a short time. And rivalries really help make guys, especially guys with no personality.
Yes,
and DJ playing video
games. He has a personality of being a really nice guy.
Yeah.
I mean, if he showed up and wanted to hang out with your kids, I mean, if he was the same age as your kids, like if he showed up and wanted to hang out with my kids now, I would not be like, but
you'd be a little creeped out. It'd be like me showing up one day. Hey, Nate, I'm here to play with you. John, that's great. Come on, no, I'm here to play with your kids. I'm not here to see you.
Yeah, no, thanks, dude. You're going to pedo jail. All right, so we care. How much money is this fight worth?
It's worth some money, but not nearly as much as it would be a year from now, I think. That's my thinking. If you had Cejudo have a couple more impressive performances, but I will give it. It's just not. It's like this is a Showtime HBO fight, not a pay-per-view. So I'm going to say $10.
I too will say $10. Yep. Yep. That's what it is.
That's
All right.
It is what it is.
Now we come to the bantamweight title fight. Long awaited. We've been waiting over a year for this because of a litany of fiascos and injuries to these guys. Bantamweight champion TJ Dillashaw against former champ Cody Garbrandt in a rematch of the fight that saw TJ take the title back.
And again, I don't like. Actually, I got an idea for DJ Demetrious Johnson. He should dress up like a Hobbit character or something. Like that's the nerd on.
Now that he lost the Mighty Mouse nickname because of trademark, he should dress up as Frodo.
Something like that. You know,
I like it. I like it. Do you remember that Flight of the Condors, Lord of the Rings Frodo song?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
That was
what was the other Australian satire band that they had one about Game of Thrones?
I didn't know there was another Australian. I thought Australia just had the one comedy.
New Zealand, they were. Both are New Zealand, actually.
Oh yeah, Fly the Condors are New Zealand.
Yeah, they're a New Zealand band.
Man, those Kiwis.
They're fucking dominating comedic rock.
Wow. So, TJ Dillashaw, Cody Garbrandt, who you got?
I don't like the fight again. I think it's too soon. They should have. Why rematch right away when it was definitive?
Because they got nothing else in that division.
Dominic Cruz got beaten. He couldn't stay healthy no matter what. To even set up a fight. He should have slipped in there somehow.
That
he didn't.
guy's Mr. Glass from the Bruce Willis movie.
Yeah. What Bruce Willis movie? I'm not familiar with that movie at all. The one
Unbreakable.
I know. They're doing he's coming back in a whole pointless sequel.
Are they? Mr. Glass was the stupidest supervillain ever conceived. I mean,
what is your power? My power is I'm very fragile.
Yeah. I mean, Stan Lee would have booted you right out of his office for that. Like that would not, would not have passed muster at the mighty Marvel House of Ideas. Bantamweight division is pretty bereft of interest. I mean, Dominic Cruz is still ranked number 2.
They could have done the DJ TJ fight.
Rafael Assunção is still out there. I believe he's been sent packing. Marlon Moraes would be kind of interesting, but
he would be. I don't know. They got to start setting up, doing something to build up better contenders because they're not. It's like there's no one. Maybe start bringing in the UFC won't do tournaments, but maybe bring in like 4-man contenders tournaments. Like maybe not number 2 guy, but the number 3, 4, 5, and 6.
I have long advocated that the way out of the wilderness for the UFC is to have seasons, and every season you have 16 people that are in each division, and those 16 people can't get cut for the entire year, no matter how. Even if they go 0-4, they're there for the season, and you've got rankings, and you've got a title hunt, and. Boom.
That's PFL.
Well,
it's going to bomb.
That's where they got but they don't have the fighters, John. They don't have the fighters.
But you can't do no fighter fights 4 times a year anymore, especially the high end. You can't get that many fights in.
I mean, you can make it happen.
I have a whole better system, which I'll keep to myself. And if someone really wants to hear it, they can pay me and call me, and I'll share.
John Shelby,
is that why call, and I will fix all your problems. I have
frantically calling you.
I got to know. Look at this, a message.
Oh,
not from someone completely different. Never mind.
I see. It's just another death threat, a Trump voter. All right. So, who are we picking? This is the interesting part. I thought Garbrandt was going to totally dominate the first match, which he pretty much did, but other than getting knocked out.
He didn't totally dominate. That was
he was dumb.
He was not dominating. Come on, what fight were you watching?
He was looking very impressive. How about that?
He was looking all right, but also I was surprised at how well Dillashaw was staying with him.
I was too, and then when he finished him, I was just
Remember, Cody said he had injuries and stuff going to that one, and because he couldn't drop out. They all have injuries, but he needed the money, so he couldn't drop out.
People say a lot of things, John, especially after they lose title fights.
So who am I? What?
I'm going to pick Cody. I'm a sucker for him. I can't quit
you, pick
man.
Cody. I'll pick TJ.
You're going to pick TJ, huh?
Yeah.
Just doing it to spite me.
Well, I give him a shot. He might have Cody's number, and then it sets up the Dillashaw Johnson fight, which they won't book. So.
Oh, there you go. Dream on. John's dream is of two little guys, 2 tiny little guys fighting in a great big
Listen,
cage.
what's the big fights in boxing right now?
Golovkin versus Canelo too.
Okay, that's one. What's the other ones? Joshua versus Fury or Wilder. That's huge. That's heavyweights. But then what about Lomachenko versus Garcia? Same weight as these guys, and it's probably the biggest fight to be made after those.
It's a big fight, but I mean, I think Lomachenko will have a bigger fight afterwards.
Yeah, well, again, it's moving up against Crawford or something. But then Crawford Spence is the other one. Both lighter weight guys, both those fights. Those are the biggest fights in boxing. There's no reason why MMA can't make. I mean, think 10 years ago.
I think a big part of it is if the cage were smaller for these dudes,
bring back
like
WEC.
it was in the WEC. Yeah,
but 10 years ago, we would have gone nuts for Uriah Faber versus Kid Yamamoto, and the general public would have cared, but the MMA fan base would have gone nuts.
Yeah. And then the MMA fan base could carry along the general public back then. Remember how we got them all to wear Affliction T-shirts?
Yeah, we were such trendsetters.
I know, man. I was sitting on the Fire Island Ferry earlier this summer behind like a 50-something dude who had barely stuffed himself into an Affliction shirt, and he had a Tim Sylvia, carefully manicured beard mustache, and I was just like, oh my god, this sport is so dead.
Well, my first introduction to like really UFC was when I worked on this really crappy movie, No Rules, and every guy on it was the cliched Affliction wearing, listening to freaking crap metal.
Are you sure they weren't wearing tap out shirts?
They might have been wearing tap. I couldn't tell back then, but the fighters were cool. But the guys that were fans, I'm like, you guys are mentally deficient. It was the worst presentation of MMA possible. So,
and you fell in love.
Well, thankfully, the guys I met knew the fighters were nice on the show. The movie itself was.
They were
check it out. No rules, people. It's a masterpiece. It's so bad. I can't believe I would if it's just based on the movie, I would never watch MMA. Never.
But you were nonetheless drawn in.
Well, I used to watch in the 90s and I hated it then. So I'm like you loved it. I
loved it. As soon as I saw Hoist Gracie, little guy in pajamas.
Oh, you were eating that up.
Oh man, I was like, there's a science to this. And I immediately signed up for jiu-jitsu and discovered I was really bad at it. So, yep.
But that's what it is. Oh, you haven't put a price for this fight. No, we're done.
This fight, I would say, is a $15 fight. So that's $25 with the co-main. So we're talking about like a $30, $35 pay-per-view.
So you need a friend to come over and split it. Otherwise, this card ain't worth it.
Definitely. And I have, how many friends I have who are down to chip in for UFC these days?
I'm over under half, I'm going to guess.
Zero. I don't even have. I used to have like the freeloader friend who would show up late and never chip in.
Yeah,
but
he won't even come.
Free
MMA, free UFC is not enough for him anymore.
No, it's
I got barely anybody. I got maybe my brother and a friend might, but not for this card.
Yeah.
They're not, well, I mean, they might like it, but this is not a card they want to dish out money on.
No.
I wouldn't have to dish out money if I got those credentials in the mail I was expecting.
Well, it's not a fair world, John. Life's not fair.
I blame you 100%. You did something to piss off.
I named a website bloodyelbow.com. That was my sin. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They don't have any idea how sorry I am, but I'm very sorry.
It's haunting you forever. It's gonna.
Yeah, nobody cares. All right.
Like Frank Zappa naming his kids.
Let us not speak of the Zap man. That guy. God. All right. Yes, that's our show. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to MMANation.com on YouTube. Subscribe to MMA Nation on iTunes. Get the audio without the ugly. Follow us on Twitter at KidNate, at Hey Not the Face, which means nothing.
I mean, it means nothing. It's my battle cry. You know that.
Hey, not the face.
That's every time I get a fight, that's the first thing I'll say.
Do homeless guys respect that when you say, hey, not the face?
Oh, yeah, they're very respectful about it.
Yeah.
Making fun of me. How many homeless guys have you beaten up, Nate? Let me hear it.
None. I give money to the homeless. I just gave a whole bunch of beauty products to a homeless guy because I had too many. I
will say for people out there, it's if you're in a part of the country it's super hot like LA and you have a little bit of money, maybe get a water, give it to a homeless guy. Those guys are, I'm not even joking.
They're dehydrated. Yes. Don't give them Milwaukee's best. Give them some water, some moisturizer, some sunscreen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, Twitter, read us at bloodyelbow.com. You got any big exposés coming up?
I have a I got 4 articles I'm working on, and all 4 just need some. One is almost the one that's about the guy that did the thing, and that's about done. I'll hand that in. But the other 3, we just need confirmation, and then we have a very good story that will put this whole sport out of business forever, and we'll never have to cover it again. That's the whole goal.
It's a beautiful thing.
Now our purpose. We're trying to save ourselves from having to do this shit again.
Everybody's rooting for you, John. So Zane, Simon, and the crew will have the MMA Vivisection tomorrow with detailed, informed, knowledgeable breakdowns of the fights, and then they'll have the 6th round after the fights. So yeah, you don't want to miss a minute. So subscribe to MMANation.com, and adios, MMA aficionados. Thanks, John. We'll see you next time.
I can't believe you made fun of my 4-0 record against the homeless. This is unacceptable.
What you gonna do?
At least we didn't talk about my record against young kids.
I decry violence, John. You got
the wrong profession. All right.
Yeah.